Hey,
In there.
can I take an exam today? Huh?
Creates a different atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm sure. Feels good in here, doesn't it?
Good afternoon and welcome to the Gates County Board of Commissioners and Town of Gatesville Joint Special Meeting. I'm Emily Truman. I serve as the 2026 Board Chair. I'm joined by Commissioner Brian Roundtree, Commissioner Dave Forsyth, County Manager Scott Sauer, and Clerk to the Board Renee Draper. I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Lilly to call his board to order.
We'll call the board to order for the Gatesville Town Council. Mayor Doug Lilly and myself, Councilman Wade Hobbs, and Councilman Kay Walker.
All right, thank you. And we're going to ask Commissioner Roundtree will lead us in the invocation and pledge.
Dear Lord, we thank you, Lord, for this day. We thank you, Lord, for this meeting, which consists of the Gates County Commissioners and also the Gatesville Town Council. Lord, we ask for your wisdom. We ask for your direction. Thank you, Lord, for helping us improve our resources in our county and in our city, town seat. Lord, we bless your name. We glorify you. We thank you for good success as we acknowledge you in all our ways. And we bless your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. All right, and then now if we could ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented. For the commission.
Second.
All right, all in favor? And we are good. I don't know if you all need to approve the agenda.
I don't have a copy.
I actually don't know if I,
I mean, if you'll approve, we're here at your pleasure. And we,
it's a very simple agenda.
all approve of the agenda.
So moved.
So moved.
All right, thank you. Okay, so now we have a special guest with us today from the North Carolina Department of Transportation. We're going to ask Chris Lockta and any others to come to the podium for the presentation, and afterward we'll have a time of questions from both boards.
Are there handouts available for the board?
I'm sure.
Got more than one? Oh, okay. Come on, Misters.
If I have one, yeah.
I know we got plenty. I printed like 40 of them, so we're in good shape.
All right.
Everybody got a hard copy that needs one, wants one?
I think so.
Okay. Just going to do a brief introduction. We came with plenty today, so there's confidence in numbers. I'm Chris Slack, the Division I Planning Engineer. I know we shook hands and met a couple people in here. Ethan Summers with Albemarle RPO, and Caitlin Spears. She's a district engineer for Elizabeth City, well, out of Elizabeth City for District 1. And we've got Ryan Howell, County Maintenance Engineer here. He can handle the maintenance questions for us. Our boss man, Brooks, well, my boss man, Brooks Braswell, the Division Project Development Engineer for Division 1. So thank you for letting us come to you and speak today on NCDOT projects. We kind of broke it up. We're going to go through DOT, kind of how our prioritization works a little bit. We're going to speak with you on some upcoming projects, active projects, and then in the last part of the pamphlet or the slides that we printed off are the resurfacing that is taking place now and is proposed. We're not going to go through each one of those unless there's a specific question, but at least for your reference, you can see the maps and/or the to's and froms that rights are going to be resurfaced. Ethan, you want to take us off and start first?
Sure.
Prioritization.
Yeah, so
Let's see if we can get this down, right?
all right, so to kick us off, State Transportation Improvement Program, Cycle Prioritization 8. Currently, we are within the scoring window, or actually just ended this past month. We're waiting on the project scores to come out and the statewide mobility projects to be selected. The deadline for this project is September 30th, and then we ask you guys to speak with Division 1 staff and with myself to go over any potential projects we may have in future cycles and also projects that are within this current prioritization. Can you hear me better now? Perfect, there we go. All right, so during prioritization 8.0 work group, they've reduced this number of submittal slots that each highway division has and each RPO and NPO has across the state. This was to reduce the workload on the Strategic Prioritization Office of Transportation, who selects the projects and does all the quantitative scoring behind it, and then also to reduce the likeliness of cost overruns. This will be important later in some of the projects we go over. So for the scoring, for mobility, this is mostly congestion-based with cost-benefit analysis based on 10-year safety benefits and time travel savings. Safety also makes up another 10%, and then freight comes in at a higher weight for statewide mobility, but then the rate works its way down lower through each of the regional and division needs impacts. And economic competitiveness is important to statewide mobility, and then we have access connectability that takes up that 10% for regional impact and division needs. Then we have modernization, which is the other criteria for highway. Projects can be submitted under. 10% of this is congestion. This is mostly based around safety and freight movement along corridors, as well as lane width and shoulder width to make out if the road is actually safe for people to travel on and or comfortable to travel on.
And just to piggyback on Ethan's comments, if you notice the percentages up there, just last year or the year before, I believe, safety on modernization was a lower number. If you can imagine where we are rurally, our projects don't score as well when you're based off congestion. We don't have a lot of congestion problems like larger municipalities. It's just, an effect of the scoring mechanism. So our projects tend to score lower than some of the larger metropolitan areas. But with the safety factor in modernization and that percentage coming up, it really does benefit our projects here in a more rural area.
Which this gets us into US 13. This was put in as a mobility category project from at US 158 intersection all the way up to the Virginia state line. This was a consolidated submittal from section B and C that had been submitted since 2009, where we had A, B, and C, where section A was picked up in the first prioritization cycle. And then we have US 158, where also expanding it to look like US 13 is, where it's fully 4 lanes and got RCI intersections. This was also consolidated from having 2 to just having 1 large project. This project turned out to come out to a little bit over $1 billion estimated, which exceeds the amount of funding that is in with the pot that is allowed to compete within. So going forward, we're going to try to cut these projects down to a more appetizable size of around $100 million rather than a $1 billion project, and try to really target where there is an actual need for a project rather than in the kind of expanses that don't have much. Also pushing it towards modernization, whereas these are both mobility categories and congestion is the #1 piece on mobility. Modernization, if we move towards that, will allow us to actually score much better and be much more competitive in terms of the STIP.
And as Ethan mentioned, those sections, if we have $1 billion project and we break it down into smaller sections, $100,000, a couple $100,000 are a lot more favorable from a budget standpoint to get accepted or funded and the likelihood of actually coming to construction. Next will be another project similar. This is H250 481. This is the intersection at US 158 and Acorn Hill. It's a project that was submitted by the division, and it's actually in scoring right now. So hopefully the end of May, give or take, so we're told, we should get some definitive scores on what that project will end up scoring. We're looking at doing some type of improvement to it, whether it be a roundabout, a reduced conflict intersection, something of that sort, but just depending on how the project scores later in the month of May.
If I may.
Sure.
When you say reduced conflict intersection, how does that look? I mean, I'm familiar with roundabouts.
Right.
What is a reduced conflict intersection?
Basically like no left turns. I mean, we come down, you have to come, make a right turn, then get over, and then say, the layout of it could be complicated to directly where it is, but it's still a concept that would be on the table. When we come and make an improvement, of course, the county would be involved, but it is an option for us. It all depends on how that intersection scores.
Thank you, sir.
Having said that, y'all do that in concert. If you talk about breaking up all those various projects, doing a roundabout, if you end up eventually going to be a 4-lane highway, a roundabout would be a waste. It'd be great initially, perhaps.
Right.
So, I mean, y'all do that, right? You consider all those. If you break it into 4 or 5 pieces or more,
Right.
you'd also consider not doing a roundabout, but doing the other methodology.
Yeah, depending on the corrective action. I mean, of course, your 4 lanes not going to be,
Anything same.
that's right.
Right.
So we've got to do something in the meantime. We're not throwing money away by any means, but just like we put the 4-way stop out there, the fatalities and all that stuff are greatly diminished. They're only, really property damage when you're moving so slow now.
Yeah.
Roundabout would be a similar opportunity, but you wouldn't physically have to stop. It keeps traffic moving in
Sure.
a continuous manner. But those considerations are taken into account, but with the improvements that large so far down the road, it's hard to implement.
So you could do a roundabout, is what you're saying. It could be of value for 10 years
Oh,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
I get it.
definitely.
Got it.
That's the main thing that we're looking is to try to get some type of corrective action in place now, and then whatever improvements take place over years would keep.
Thank you.
And again, much like Ethan mentioned, R 5830, 5938, this is another project to modernize NC 32 from Glidden Road in Hoswell to the Virginia state line. This is another large project. Currently, it'll be reprioritized with the next STIP. And right now, it is currently funded for preliminary engineering only. So basically, they're looking at environmental issues, utility issues, and just preliminary development of such a large project. It's not completely funded for right-of-way acquisition, utilities and construction yet, but the preliminary work is still ongoing.
Yeah, so next we have the next cycle, which would be prioritization 9. This one will kick off in summer of 2027. The biggest change out of all this will be the express design change. When I spoke to you guys last month about the express designs and kind of looking into what we will be looking to do, which was splitting up the US 13 into 2 sections. We're doing 158 between US NC 37 and NC 32, trying to kind of just cut these projects a little bit down size, but actually give us an accurate cost estimate they're going to be. The Alamo RPO is allotted 8 express designs to spread across the 10-county region, and all highway divisions were allotted 6 express designs to complete. We are given 15 submittal slots in total for the RPO. I aim that all the other projects that are outside of those 8 are going to kind of be smaller intersection projects, so that we're going to see projects that can actually kind of compete well without an express design.
And as Ethan mentioned, the express design process, if you're not familiar with it, basically what it does is it gives us a more concrete engineer's estimate of what it'll take to build these projects. The mechanisms that we've had in place over the years before basically generate a number that might not be as concrete as what we would like to see. It's always typically more inflated given construction costs and all now. But with the express designs, we can get something way more concrete and have a number on the books that is actually feasible. And Caitlin's going to speak to us about our active projects in Gates County.
So right now we have a active project for, or going to be active in the next couple of weeks, is June 8th is when they want to start for this Bridge 7 in Gates County. It's actually Harold's Church over Coal Creek. They are going to work on that for, I believe they have 120 days to get that constructed. And then of course they have vegetation and moratoriums and such. Right now that is bid at almost 1.5 million. It's the 0.02 miles for the actual length of the project, so roadway improvements. Structure is only 0.027. It'll have a 33-foot clear span width with a 2 10-foot travel lanes for that particular project. Then next one. There's the detour. Of course, when the contractor actually does mobilize in and close the road, there'll be an advance notice sent out to all the county officials and let them know this actual detour route. It will be signed and then, proposed to the public through those signage and then that advance notice. So that way it can be distributed either social media or any kind of newspapers. And then there was some, I guess it was the TAP, is that right?
Yep.
The TAP that either councils or commissioners suggested these locations for pedestrian improvements. They have been looked at. They're under evaluation, I believe, and then the deadline's the end of the month for some of the milestones for the project determination and funding. And then once they get order to funding, it might be a year before you might see actually these to be implemented once they're decided on. But there was the intersection at 137 and NC 37. And I guess right here, is that the courthouse one? 37 at Gateway Health Medical Center. One of them is just the static signs and the crossing with the striping, and the other one should be your rapid flashing beacons where you push pedestrian activated and it gives you that flasher.
In these projects, we're looking or hoping to administer them through basically our on-call contracts, our IDIQ contracts. They're already in place, so it's not something that we would formally have to put out for advertisement, accept bids, and then come to construction. We've actually got contracts that are on demand where we can call the contractor and tell them a location that we have and then give them a certain period of time to get the work completed.
So obviously, one of the main projects in Gates County and one of the main projects actually in our 6 counties is the widening through the swamp. It's a 4-mile project. We are widening. It's still going to be 2 lanes. It's going to be 2 12-foot lanes. And then we're going to add a 4-foot paved shoulder to each side. And then it's going to have a 6-foot grass shoulder outside of that. So technically, pretty much your total width is going to increase for the roadway. Then you have date of completion, obviously, is not till 2028. But of course, the milestones in the project include the widening, resurfacing, the new grade, as well as shore stabilization on that eastbound side of the swamp. So it's a $20 million project that's 46% complete. And I was talking to the guys, they said, we've got 2/3 of the grades put in, and we have a 1/3 left. And obviously that's the swamp section, so it might be the most challenging due to the road conditions. But you should see some paving operations taking. I know patchwork has been a concern for the existing road and the deterioration of it, obviously, with it being 1 lane on most of the project, most days. So you should see some patching operations doing, some actual pavement on the grade. The detour, I guess, can you advance me to my date say, sorry. So that detour is temporary. Once they pave the final alignment over the culvert, then you'll see, that paving crew, from what I understand, is going to start in the summer, and you'll see them periodically for intermittent lake closures in that area, as well as the earthwork continuing. And then that would be pretty much your new typical section to match that drawing that was on the previous slide and show that full widening.
And then the next slide, this is something that's brand new to the department and to those outside of the department. Projects Near Me, it's a website that's been put in place for external and internal users to basically, are we allowed, can you click on that one for us? Is there any way that'll work? Basically, while he's getting that, it's a website you can go to and pull up any, yeah, just say continue. There you go. In Gates County, if you zoom out, and it should show you 2 highway projects that Caitlin mentioned one of them. I mentioned the proposed one, and then there's a bridge one. If you zoom further out, basically to the county. But what it does, there's a bridge that we were talking about, bridge number 7. You're able to click on those icons, and it gives you a project description and/or updates. Something we've never had before for the private sector, to basically get project updates whenever it's convenient for them. Something really, really nice. It's brand new. It actually came out last week, so it's not formally deliverable. You can get on there. They're still working bugs out of it, but the hard launch is supposed to be in July. But it does work. I made sure of it last week, and actually that bridge didn't show up last week. I called and we got some information on how the projects actually get in there. But it'll be a great, great tool even outside of Gates County. If you've got questions on adjoining counties, then you can at least look on those projects and get an update without having to call the department. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. That link is good, so if you see it in there, or we can get you an electronic version of this presentation, and you can click on it and go right to it. Lastly, there you go. Just to save time, basically what we did is we compiled the resurfacing, current resurfacing and our proposed resurfacing across the county. You'll see a table in there. The highlighted color should match that legend. And on the back side of those individual maps will be an Excel page where it gives you the actual route itself, the to's and froms, and the treatment that we're looking, the percentage complete and or completion date. But I think there's like 13, 14 slides, so you're more than welcome to look at those at your leisure. But if you've got any questions, we'd be more than happy to try to answer them for you.
How do y'all prioritize those? Only one I'm not surprised I've seen is Drum Hill Road. That thing is just like cracked to pieces. And
Yeah.
I thought I would see that on here.
They are done by pavement condition surveys, and in our maintenance, our most unit categorizes those scores and then put them in a resurfacing database and try to do it geographically.
So potholes or collapsing edge would probably score more than just having lots and lots of cracks in it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
And some of that stuff can be done on the maintenance side. If there's potholes or if there's some shoulder work that can be done ahead of resurfacing. We don't have to wait for a resurfacing project to take care of things like that.
For the Dismal Swamp project, will any guardrails be implemented? And will there be any signage such as the caution sign with the yellow and black stripe as you travel?
Delineated markers.
Yes.
There is a section
There
of
is guardrail that's through the culvert, the box culvert that is replaced right in the bottom of the swamp on the acre and hillside. There's guardrail on each side of that adjacent, but there's none throughout the 4 miles of the project except for that area. And, I mean, the road's gonna be essentially 33 feet of actual pavement and shoulders, so you'll have a lot more recovery and clear recovery zones than you do currently right now.
You'll actually be able to pull off the shoulder of the road at night versus being in the traffic lane. It's a huge difference, that's for sure.
So long-term though, thinking long-term, sorry.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
Long-term, obviously you've expanding the width of the roadway. And
Right.
I'm assuming you have to go what would be to the south for doing this, not into the true swamp, right?
Right, right.
Have y'all already procured how big is your right-of-way? I'm asking, is it that one day that goes to a 4-lane road, you have to go out and procure more
Let
land?
me go.
So it's, they added, I believe, 50 feet of additional right-of-way to what we already had. But obviously, you can't go any more into that wildlife area, so we would 100%.
Right, and so, but so if you go to some point 10 years from now, maybe 5, it'd be great 3, but you go to expand into 4 lanes, are you
Yeah.
gonna have to procure more?
Right.
You don't own
Yeah,
with
it's-
enough to go to 4 lanes yet?
So,
Okay.
yeah, we got 50 additional feet. So it depends on what that 4-lane section looks like.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's pretty steep, so I think
Right.
you're gonna have to go. Okay.
Right, the toe would be kicked out for sure,
Yeah.
given the elevation. All right, thank y'all for having us.
Thank you, sir. Did y'all have any questions?
Thank y'all,
Anything?
thank y'all.
Could we share a couple of things with you?
Sure.
We've got Brad Arnold with us, our Public Utilities Director. The board approved 4 water line projects back in March.
Okay.
We're waiting for the state DEQ to give us the authority to award.
Okay.
But we'll be on Carter's Road at Trotman Creek. We'll be down here at the duck through doing Bennett's Creek as a directional bore. And then Brad helped me out on the 2 long ones, exactly how you describe those.
TS Open School down 32 up to 158 and then down 158 to, by the high school.
Okay.
It's one project, and we'll be from Buckland Elementary School down 37 and then cut through, Cotton Gin Road.
Okay. And their water line improvements, is that what you said?
Those 2 were sewers.
No, I was thinking of the 2 water lines
The 2
to
water
get to Ashton Lewis.
Oh, yes. That'll start at, Eleanor Crossroad, come down 37 and cut through, what's the name of the street up here?
Roberts?
Roberts Street? Yeah.
But then it'll run through the field and come back out to 137 and then down Lewis Mill.
Okay.
I believe I've already seen the encroachment agreements for some of those submissions and not all of them.
Hopefully that'll start in the next 30 days or so.
Great. And I know we didn't get all the way to it, but the last page has got all of our contact information, starting with Brooks, myself, Caitlin, and Ethan. So you've got a phone number, address, an email address. If there's anything that you need, please contact us.
Sounds good, thank you.
So,
Say, did y'all have any questions or comments?
I got one question. We're talking about some water line stuff. Councilman Carter, I'll introduce him. He came in as the sheriff. Our main street and Court Street, we have a lot of, that's our main residential area here in Gatesville, and the truck traffic is constant.
Right?
If you sit in somebody's living room on Main Street anytime during the day, the mirrors, the pictures will shake and rattle and roll. We don't know if it's the sewage system. Bud, help me if you think of it, the sewage system that we have here underneath the main road. Is that in a project? Is that in a area of concern for DOT in this district?
Utility-wise, probably not, but from a resurfacing standpoint, if we come through and resurface, then a lot of those undulations in the road will be correct.
Right.
If that's what you're speaking of. A lot of times from utility patches.
We've been through it several times over 25, 30 years. It gets bad.
Right.
And you, Main Street gets started out half bad, wide and wide.
Right.
I know at least 2 or 3 times, I think 3 times, it's been wide.
Right.
Every time you widen it, they put in new curb and gutter. And I think by looking at some of the stuff, they just abandoned the old and laid in new. In over a period of time, he had a place on Main Street that a hole came in his yard, and we put a whole dump truck full of dirt and never knew where it went. And a lot of those dips and things that shake your house, I got one close to my house.
Right.
They go parallel across the road like there used to be a drainage ditch, an old pipe, an abandoned pipe collapsed. So, that's what we've seen a lot of indentions and places in the pavement, but you can map them out. They're not just arbitrary, they go here, they go there, they can follow.
So it's longitudinal, it would run parallel with the actual
Right.
existing roadbed now
Versus
versus
against the cross pipes.
from perpendicular.
Yeah, and you take a cross pipe, there's about 3 different places you can go out there, and that's where the trucks are.
Right, right.
It's not just, and that's why it's so hard.
So that would be stormwater, right?
There was stormwater drainage, and I think instead of, when the project came, instead of carrying the old one out, they just filled it in, put the new ones in, and
Yeah,
I
it's it.
think that's another reason we had so much complication up in the corner.
Right.
This patch place was there, and that was a washout, and I didn't see it, that was good. You got a report on what they found yesterday when they fixed that, anybody know?
They uncovered a metal pipe leading under the parking lot, and then we uncovered some concrete and it has some leaking joints. We covered that.
What failed?
With the metal pipe, they couldn't see anything right there that failed. The box wasn't leaking. They did their due diligence and put filter paper around it, put ABC in there.
But it washed out on the other side of the joint, all that dirt was somewhere.
Oh, I understand that, I'm just letting you know what we found when we dug up, we didn't see anything there. We repaired it, we're gonna monitor the situation, and I'll have to bring it on further up if they want us to replace or repair it, whatever they want to do.
You know, I wouldn't, I'm talking about chasing it, I just wondering what you saw, because that's the kind of stuff we run into, failed pipes, all of a sudden you just get a big hole.
Yeah.
There's another one up on where the Bundy's used to live, there's one on East Maple, on up on, you notice that one, we talked about it, where the ice plant used to be, on Third, the place the third axe in the yard, there's another spot just like that that washed out, about the same spot. That's what I'm saying, a parallel of old drainage.
Yeah, if you could give us some specific locations, we can definitely look into it. It could be that joints have separated over time, much like when you're speaking of the trucks going over it. You can imagine those joints over time separating. And unfortunately, where we are, geographically, with the water table and everything else, that's when that material comes from the top and goes down.
Oh, I mean, it just takes so long to get it fixed.
It does.
Happen.
It does. Yeah, but if there's something specific somewhere, you can at least get us a location, get it to Ryan, and then that way he can check into it. If we need to do something the best we can, at least assure it up. We can definitely look
You got another problem is the water tower. Y'all noticed, years ago, when Gatesville had a water tower, we didn't have cattails growing up there. You got a pond, you got all that water held out there. And we've got a 50-year drought and still water standing on the hill. Now, if you walk back there in the woods, or walk across on Willie Lane side, there's a ditch. There's 3 people down in that ditch blocking all that water back up there holding it. Now, that wetness around that water tower is what's caused the existing water tower to sink, pipe crack. If you put up a new one there, you're gonna have the same problem. That ditch used to be maintained by the state, they quit. And we called that there years ago and they fixed it, but we mentioned it since then, but somebody right in the town looking at the state ditch, the state's full of water, dry as it is.
And is that a highway ditch you're speaking of, or a roadway ditch? Is it a highway?
Roadway ditch. Road ditch.
So-
It brings the water all the way from back to the school bus and runs, crosses, 58 business right there by, just up from the water tower, but that's how the water tower water leaks. You've got some pumps up there at the water tower that keep the water out of the base there, it runs the boat and all that. That empties in that ditch back there. And,
But the highway ditch itself is stopped up.
but when it stopped up,
Yeah, I know used to years and years ago, and even on my farm, DOT was able to go in the branch in there, and they could clean out maybe 1,000 feet until we could get at least a decent amount of positive fall, and now we're unable to do that. So we've got situations like that almost everywhere.
Well, I can-
What does that mean?
We physically can't go outside of the right of way.
Why, that is a state maintained ditch, right?
I don't know exactly what you're speaking of.
So over on,
Ditch on someone's property.
over on East Maple Street, it's in front of the Gatesville Water Tower is the Granny Star. So I grew up right next to that, and I can say between the town of Gatesville and our family, we had to go clear the ditch often because if not, the water would back up into our yard, coming to almost into the house. So it's always been an issue, and there's still 2 residences there. I don't know, I think only one is occupied, if I'm not mistaken, at this point. But between the town of Gatesville and us, like as far as our family at that time, we would have to go clear out that ditch, even though it should be a state maintained highway.
But it's.
And that's going back 30 years.
Harrison, was that the name? Please, she lived there.
Who?
Miss Harrison, whatever her name is. Anyway, she kept DOT informed when it started coming in her yard, she called and they go and clean it.
Yeah.
She had died and moved and now nobody called them when they cleaned it. We called a couple times and inquired about it, nothing happened. But that, I mean, it's in the state of the county, that's the one that leaves the school bus garage. And all that flat back there goes all the way back up, what used to be Gatesville Road Company, goes all the way to all the way back to Gatesville. Like the EIC building, that ditch
Yeah.
comes through this building, comes all the way down, it goes back here by Clara Ellis's property, comes back in and ties in back to the Askins property to the same, into down here in the corner, to that same ditch that comes under the service station. Back when we had beaver problems, I kept a backhoe and thing, and I kept that cleaned out. Now we got rid of the beavers, we didn't have a problem with that lately, but that other ditch, the state was to maintain. They don't go in there anymore.
And that's near the water tower, you said.
Yeah, right there.
Well, it's backing up the water, like that, now the water's standing.
You familiar with that area?
So for me, what I'm familiar with was the ditch right from the water tower.
Right.
But you're not talking about that, you're talking about when
Well,
it is back.
when you leave the ditch in front of the water tower, it comes right on down, and it kind of goes up here. When you get up there, as you come in the gates, it goes under the road.
So we did have a complaint that we went and cleaned that out last, I think it was last year, a year and a half ago. The ditch is getting filled back in once again because the water tower is leaking. So we're constantly,
I walked through there, what happened, well, not so long ago. What happens is the beavers are smart animals, they got three
Dams.
left dams, and they're strategically built. They're holding about a foot of water in the bottom of that pipe where it comes under the road. Well, because of the elevation, that's holding the water back. It doesn't really appear at first glance that the pipe is stopped up, which is not, but the water can't move. When you go to the other side of the road, you look down, you don't see a bank of water, but you see it level. You follow that level that goes to the dam and stop. And that level, at the top of that dam, is what's holding the water at the water tower. And I've been there myself and cleaned it out 30 years ago.
And are those dams on the DOT right away?
They're on. Who does that? That's been there ever since I've been there.
Right. But is that DOT right away though? Or is it someone privately owns it?
It's in, no, I mean, the dam, the beaver dam is not on the right,
Gotcha, gotcha.
but it's holding water.
Sure.
On the right.
Sure.
Yes. I guess the street belongs to Gates. It's Willie Lane extended. And what Willie Lane was gonna come out, we from, there was a place there where Willie Lane came back up, and it was such an elevation, it would cost us a lot to tie it in 158 there. We held up on it for a little bit, and then some of the people on Willie Lane decided they didn't want to make it a thoroughfare, so we left it dead end street. But it's on that Willie Lane dead end street.
Gotcha.
Maybe we'll change
I
the
was-
ordinance and get a little dynamite going.
That might alleviate some of the problem, at least one dam.
So,
You can take the small excavator, one y'all had up here the other day, you go down and clean it out, it's a little bit more than when I went down there, I had my arm in the sling, I had shoulder surgery on board, so I walked down there, and I didn't care if it's all, it's not that big, but it's doing a good job of keeping it wet.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, there's a lot of water back there, a lot of wetness up there that's not usually wet. Like I say, those cattails growing at the water tower, not because of leaks, not because, it's because the water doesn't move.
Gotcha.
I mean, we cut it a little Murray.
Yeah, go ahead.
When the state became,
Yeah.
it wouldn't ever wet out there.
Okay.
That's happened since we neglected that ditch.
All right. Go ahead.
I just
Go
want
ahead,
to say,
Court. Yes.
thank you to Mr. Howe and Ms. Susie and the whole staff at the maintenance yard. Y'all are very responsive. We had a sinkhole out here one time. We did not fall in the sinkhole, so thank y'all for your responsiveness. I try to use the portal a lot and advise citizens to do the same. And I always get quick turnaround times, and so I just wanted to say I appreciate y'all very much.
Thank you very much.
That was same-day response, I believe. It might have been within 90 minutes. The mayor had brought it to our attention.
I think by the time I
Don't
saw it, y'all
always
had corrected
expect
it.
that was a great.
Oh, so we can't set the bar there? Because by the time I found out about it, y'all had fixed it.
It was already fixed. Yeah, I would like to tell you that we were able to respond like that all the time, but
Well, it was in a
Well,
terrible
the
location. We really
expectation
appreciate
was set.
getting that addressed.
definitely.
Okay.
Thank y'all very
Well,
much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So,
And if you'd be
Next.
kind enough to leave your handouts, we might have citizens that would be interested to
Sure,
see
no,
them.
you're more than welcome.
We've got a meeting, well, you can just leave them there. We've got a meeting coming
that's fine. Yeah, just anywhere's fine.
later this evening. Some folks may be interested.
All right. Okay, so next then on the agenda, there were any other matters for the board or town to discuss from either side there. I'll look at county manager, see if he had anything down there. I don't want to overlook him. No.
Did you want to ask about that subdivision that you flagged?
I
think you need to talk to.
Yeah.
Pardon?
So
I think you need to talk to.
Yeah. No, I would, if, the town would just like to have a conversation with Caitlin after this meeting, if she's able to stay
Okay.
for 2 minutes.
Okay. I have a question, just something that had come up, and I'm not sure if DOT will be involved or not. I mean, just looking at projects, and I didn't see it, so I wasn't sure. A subdivision in Gatesville, is that correct?
That's correct.
Is that going to be with the DOT project involved with that, or no? As far as going back, because I was told that it was going back in, that it would need roadway. Is that correct, or?
The subdivision is one owner, 11 lots going back in front of the water tower.
Okay.
In that subdivision, the owner is supposed to maintain the road to specifications
Okay.
of the town of Gatesville and the county.
Okay, so it's not like a
So
project for
it's
them.
not-
Okay.
It's not a project that is coming up. We're
Okay.
gonna wait and see if houses are being built. They have to have their own water, have to have their own
Gotcha.
sewage, so it is not.
Okay.
It is just annexed into the town of Gatesville as property, just like somebody has bought, would buy 2 acres.
Gotcha. No,
Our
I was,
our requirement to them was that they had to put the roadway in DOT specs.
So they had to put the roadway into DOT
later on,
specs.
it could
Gotcha.
be Taken over or whatever, that, somebody got to pay, that it would be in everybody's.
I was just going through future projects and was like, did we miss one? Is something not up there that needs to be moving through? Okay. Well, that's it for me. Did we have anything else from the board or anything from you all for us? No? Yes, okay. So then, I guess I'll go for our board with the business addressed. We want to thank the town council and DOT for coming out, and we will get a motion to adjourn on our,
Move.
Second.
all in favor? Okay, and we will heed for you all. I don't know if you have to adjourn or not.
You did it.
We did it.
Okay.
We're seconding the adjourn, both boards. There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.